Ready? All right.
Yes.
Well, thank you. Look like she's trying to come in, but thank you all tonight for joining us for that Sewing Blab. It's me and my co-host right here, Don Kelly. And we're working real hard to get Michelle that black chick in. So hopefully we can get her in, stay with us. She looks like she don't want to stay with us.
Can you see me?
Yeah, so we can see you.
Can you guys see me?
Yes.
Finally?
Yes, finally. Yay!
I went through every room in my house.
Well, stay put. Don't go nowhere.
I'm a little dark, but I'm just going to stay right here.
Oh, we can see you fine. So, yeah, stay put. Don't move.
Okay.
Just do that right there.
I'm not.
Just move your lips.
Okay.
Well, we are so glad to have you in, Michelle. And it's my pleasure to meet you for the first time.
Nice to meet you guys.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. All right. Y'all give a shout out to Michelle. We got her in.
Hello, everybody.
All right. So,
sorry for the delay.
Oh, that's quite all right. So this is Michelle with That Black Chic, and I'm just going to read her bio from her Instagram, which says the bomb diggity DIYer, interior and fashion designer, and mommy of 3, sharing my ish and giving you a little peek into my crazy life. Sit back and enjoy. All right, so I'm going to sit back and enjoy. So what we're going to do for the first few minutes, Dawn and I'll just kind of hash it out and talk about what we've done for the day, or for the week, actually. And then we'll go into our interview with you, Michelle. And then towards the end, we'll have a Q&A. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
All right, good. Okay, so, Dawn, what you been up to?
I've been wasting a lot of fabric.
You've been what?
Wasting a lot of fabric.
No, waste fabric.
I know. I was trying to make this skirt that won for this month's design challenge, which is part A-line and part circle skirt. So I was doing the pattern making and things because I really wanted one side to be flat and the other side to be. And I started out on minis, using my mini mannequin and doing that, and experimenting with, did I want it an A-line or a straight skirt? Did I want it like a quarter of a circle skirt, a half of a circle skirt, a full circle skirt? So I was trying all the different combinations, and yeah, then making it bigger. And yeah, so now I've just got to do the 12. But shoot, I haven't done a circle skirt in a while. I forgot how much fabric it uses.
Okay. Well, we're going to make this quick because the majority says we need to interview Michelle before we lose her. So
yes,
so yeah,
that makes perfect sense.
sense. So we'll get into my segment towards the end. We'll just hash it out. So yeah, I agree. So thank you, ladies. So Michelle, hi, how are you?
Yeah.
Tell us about Michelle and tell us about That Black Chick, because everybody wants to know. For those of us who don't know who Michelle is, we should be whipped. But please tell us who you are. And I know, right? So tell us who you are and how you got started with That Black Chick.
All right. So first, I'm Michelle. Hi, everyone, and I'm glad you guys could join us today. Tell you a little bit about myself. I started sewing when I was like about 10 or 12, and I used to sew by hand. So I started out of necessity more than the love of sewing. We didn't have much, so I was always refashioning before refashioning became a thing, and just upgrading what I could afford. So that's how I initially started. And I went to middle school in home ec, and I was introduced to a sewing machine. And from there, I just went crazy. So my background, I do have a background in fashion design and tailoring. And I stopped sewing when I had my daughter in 1988. And I really stopped sewing because I fell out of love with it. And I was doing it. I was sewing for people for money, and it became a chore more than, something I enjoyed doing. So I did stop sewing for a lot of years. And I came upon Mimi G's blog in 2013. And I didn't even know there were such things as sewing blogs. So honestly, that was my first sewing blog. And I'm looking at her. Everybody knows as fierce she is. And I was like, I can make this. Why am I not sewing? So actually, that what pushed me back into sewing. And the blog, I started blogging because I was telling Dawn, I'm a serial picture taker. So I was able to share on that platform. So it was like a win-win for me. I'm just so excited that everyone enjoys what it is I'm doing. Right. I'm so in the field sometimes I get scared, but then you guys reel me back in and you're like, I love it. So I'm like, so I just always try to think outside of the box and make people think about what the possibilities of doing something different, So, and you guys know my daughter. I tried to get her to be here tonight. She's my model on my blog. Okay. And Maury. So most of the items I make are for her. Wow. Unfortunately, I like being behind the camera, not in front of the camera. So that's the deal with it. But I'm having a blast doing this, and I've made so many new friends. I didn't know there was such a big sewing community out there. Honestly, I didn't. So I'm having a blast doing this. I am.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I actually started following, this is my first time actually talking with you, but I started following you after you made and introduced the Ankara two-piece suit. We were talking about this today on on our Periscope, but it was a beautiful colored two-piece. I think you made the jacket from Simplicity 1447. That's when I came in, and I didn't realize that was your daughter. I thought that was actually you, but that's how I came to that black chick.
Everybody, I had to put everywhere. I keep forgetting sometimes to put that disclaimer for people who are new to me to say this is my daughter. This is not me. This is my daughter Maury. So,
but you know what? Truth be told, you don't look like you should have a daughter that age. I mean, come on.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that's a beautiful thing in itself. But I'm like you. I had no clue that there was a blogging sewing community like it is. The doors and the windows and my eyes opened in 2008. And it was like, okay, I felt like Alice in Wonderland. You just put that there and you just all this stuff back there. And so I was like, I went through that door and I never looked back. And it just keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper. So, and I get to meet people like you.
Right.
So what inspires you to do and be creative? Because the one thing I like about you, you are outside the box. You don't have, you love color, you love print. It seemed like that your taste and style for fashion, you have no inhibitions about anything, but it all works. So what inspires you?
You know what? People inspire. I'm a people watcher by nature, and it is so inspiring for me to see people in different things. And I'm just not afraid to put things together. Now, sometimes I'll tell y'all, when I'm sewing something, I'm like, some crazy stuff right here, right? So I'm like, I'm gonna put it together, but I don't know about this. And then sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't, and you guys do not get to see the don'ts, okay? So, I think all the different things I see, all the different fashions, the trends, and I just go with it. If someone, like, I can see a little kid in, this is funny because this is actually a true story. You see those little kids, the mom gave up the fight with what they wanted to wear that day, and you see the little kid, tutu skirt on, the cowboy boots, the army jacket, and the t-shirt, and you're like, mom was like, I'm not doing it today. That inspires me. So right. It's just, right. And color, color makes you happy. Like, you cannot look at that Ankara suit and be sad. Like, you look at that suit and you're like, you might not be happy, but you're definitely going to have different reaction than being sad.
Yeah, that's it right there. But yeah, and you're right. When you look at it, I get excited because I was like, oh man, that is so nice. You know, but it's the color. So I know I'm gonna ask you a crazy question, and you probably don't have like a one answer, but do you have a favorite color?
I don't. And you know what? Now I don't, because before it used to be black, and now I don't. And you know what? I gravitate towards, I noticed lately, I've been gravitating towards colors that I would normally ignore. So I'm like, I know this is not a color that I would get, but I've been going outside and saying, nope, I'm gonna get that. I don't know that I would wear it, but I'm gonna get it and make something of it. So
wow. So do you feel like that's stretching you outside of the box even further? Because I mean, to me, I already feel like you're outside of the box with no limitations, and it is fabulous. It works. But do you feel like by going to the zone of colors that you wouldn't normally use, do you feel like that's stretching you outside of your comfort zone?
I do, because so pastels is something that I shy away from, because they're pretty, but they're not loud. So, and I tend to be loud. So if you ever see anything pastel, you know Michelle was reaching that time, okay?
Now, you sew a lot for your daughter, but do you sew for yourself, and do you wear what you make?
Now, I do sew for myself. I don't sew a lot for myself. And I tell you what, I sew as much as I do for my daughter, mainly for the blog. Like on a regular basis, she wasn't getting all that, you know. Okay. I do sew casual stuff for myself, and then like recently was my birthday in April, and then I did sew that blazer, but I don't sew often for myself. I can admit that. So.
So what would you say your style is? I mean, we see your daughter, and we see that I can imagine that this is your ideal of fashion reflected on her, or is that her actual true style?
No. Because sometimes she's like, Mom, really? She's like, I did this one. I mean, I don't know if you saw the denim top with the maxi dress with the floral bottom. Well, I had got that pattern from Kate and Rose, and it just took me back to like my childhood, like when we wore maxi dresses to school. And I was like, this is so 70s. Well, when I made those puffy sleeves, and that girl, she was like, I am not even modeling in this for you. So I had to take those sleeves down a little bit, and where she was comfortable with it. And, you know, so she does not like everything that I make. So, but she's willing to experiment a lot of the times though. So.
Wow. So, Michelle, do you feel like that you have created your brand? Do you have plans to take your brand, you know, maybe a different, you know, a little bit further than just, you know, blogging about it? Do you plan on maybe one day creating a fashion line?
So when I was younger, that was the plan. And my daughter's name, Maury, actually, that was my brand for my label. That was the name for my label. So it is something that I'm considering right now, because my items are so well received. If I do, it's definitely going to be, my brand will be a play on Prince. So it absolutely will be that. So I'm really thinking hard about that.
Okay, awesome. Well, I think I can speak for the rest. We would love to see that Black Chick or Maury, you know, somewhere in store. Because I think your style is great. I love the inhibition that you have. I like that you just go for it. And I say this all the time to the paragraphers. When it comes to fabric, and you tell me how you feel about this, and then Dawn, I'm gonna turn it over to you because I think I've been talking long enough. But I always say, you know, fabric is just fabric. Cut into it. Don't be afraid. You know, you can always get more fabric. So I can kind of see you taking that concept, because I mean, you do some stuff like the latest thing that I've seen on your blog, this Ankara skirt with the two zippers, kind of asymmetrical on there. So what's your take on that? You know, it's just fabric.
Absolutely. And I've had a lot of experience where it didn't work out, but it was like, you know how you're supposed to pick what kind of fabric you're supposed to use for the pattern, right? Well, I don't hardly ever follow that. So I've had some misses. But I'm willing to give it a try. And I just like to experiment with all different kind of fabrics. If you notice, knits are something that I'm getting ready to get into, because I don't do a lot of knits. That's one fabric that I stay away from, but I'm getting ready to get into some knits because I have a lot in my stash.
Wow. Well, that's refreshing for some, because most people nowadays like to work with knit, especially a lot of the newer sewers that are coming up. That's the first thing they go to. And I think a lot of it stems from a lot of what Mimi G does, which I think she's great. And she does a lot with the beginner sewers, you know, teaching. And she's doing an amazing job. And she's get the credit for a lot of people that are up and coming and like such as yourself that are moving, you know, on the fashion scene. But it's refreshing to hear you say that you sew mostly with wovens and you're now getting ready to get into knits.
Exactly. I agree with you 100%. Yeah, a lot of what you're seeing now is knits, and that was like, to me, that's scarier than woven. So
yeah. Yeah, we were taught coming up that we didn't start off with knits. We've had this conversation many times that we don't start off with knits. You know, you start off with a stable fabric that you can handle. But nowadays, I guess because things are so much simpler, you know, you can just do a tube skirt, or you can, you know, you can make anything pretty much work with knit, and it's forgiving, you know. But yeah, we didn't start out like that. Dawn, you want to join the conversation?
Why, of course. Hi, Michelle. Yeah, when we were talking the other day, we were talking about a lot of like outside of the blog, the things that you do. Because I mean, the blog itself is gorgeous. It's visually stunning, and it must take a lot of work. But you're also a Bernina ambassador. You do things for We All Sew, Fabric Mart Fabrista, and also help Sew Mama Sew. So I was wondering if you could tell us about some of those experiences.
Absolutely. So I think in 2015, that was a big year for me and my sewing and my blog. So I did a lot of things. I don't know if you guys were following, but the Rippin' It Easy had a sewing contest that they started last year. And I did participate in this. I forgot to tell you about this, Dawn. I did participate in that, and I did win that competition last year. So in that, from that, I was a judge for Sew Mama Sew. They had a sewing competition, so I did judge their competition after that. I've also been a contributor for Sew Mama Sew, along with being a fabrista for Fabric Mart this year. That's interesting on my list. And I don't see Alethea. Is she gone?
Yeah, I think
here.
She's just sound only for a second, I think.
I'm here. Can you all see me?
What's entailed with being a Fabric Mart fabrista?
So the deal is that each month we put up a post and their theme, or maybe a fabric that they want us to utilize from their store. And I don't know if that was the biggest mistake in my life or the best thing that ever happened to me, because I cannot stay off of that website buying fabric. So we just basically use up a post, and you may detail out, you know, your process and things like that, and share with it on their blog. So that's that one. And with the Bernina ambassador, I get to use a Bernina machine. Swoon, because I love that machine. I get to use that for a year and play with that for a year. And also during that time, I get to post on their website. I'm going to take over their Instagram in a couple of weeks and do lots of fun tutorials for them. So that's exciting.
Do you find it hard to work in all these extra things with your blog? Do you tend to just do stuff for other people and work it into what you were going to do with your blog, or is it all totally separate?
Well, okay. So I just noticed that it's taken up a lot of my time. I do have to get some kind of management, some schedule in place, because I'm a procrastinator. So I'll be working on stuff that has nothing to do with anything. And then next thing I know, I'm like, oh snap, my blog post is due Wednesday and it's Monday, right? So I'm rushing. So I do have to get a grip on my scheduling because it is a lot more. If I span it out the way that I'm supposed to, I do have enough time, but like I said, I'm a procrastinator and I'm always starting 15 projects at one time. So
Wow.
I haven't had a whole lot of posts on my own blog this month. So I just started looking at that and I'm like, yeah, I got to do some kind of scheduling. So I'm not that organized yet this year.
Well, it sounds like it would be difficult with everything you have. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Dawn.
I was going to say, it just sounds like it would be difficult with so many different priorities, things to balance. I can understand why it'd be tricky.
I have a plan.
I think that's an issue with most sewists. Well, I won't say most. I would say, I will admit, that is a problem that I have. Hi, my name is Alethea, and I'm a procrastinator. You know, I mean, time management, you know, and I'm learning, since I've been with the Paracrafters, I'm learning a lot about how important it is to schedule everything. I mean, even the minutest thing, you know, like you was just saying, scheduling, you know, you have a blog that's due on Wednesday. I never would have thought to schedule my blog, you know, my blog post, scheduling, you know, every little thing. And it helps, you know, and so I'm having to learn time management. And, but I think that's a sewist thing or a creator or a crafty thing, you know, to procrastinate, or you have like umpteen things to do because your mind, you're so full of creative ideas and your mind just go here, there, and everywhere. And to stay focused, that's a whole different ball game. Would you agree, Dawn, or do you have a different take on that?
I've been trying new things myself, but I don't want to bore everyone. It's just that whole eat the dog thing, do the chores I like the least first thing in the morning, and yeah. So it's been going well, actually. But, you know, that'll go for a couple weeks and then, you know.
So you agree that planning works, scheduling, and you keep a planner, Dawn?
Yes, more or less. I have two different ways I keep them. I'm still a paper person myself, you know. Mm-hmm. And how about you, Michelle? Do you keep a paper planner or an electronic one?
Now, see, I don't have any planner. That's my problem. So I will write something. I do want to get a planner to get on track with that. I've cruised around the website a little bit and see how people, you know, manage their time. So I think I am going to give a planner a try. And I'm like you, Dawn, I have to have hard copy and I need to see it. So an electronic planner is not going to work for me. I need to see it on paper.
Yep. And it's nice to tick things off with a pen. Ha 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 ha.
Done.
Yeah. So you're also on Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram. You have your blog. You're on YouTube, and I think I missed something as well. So there's lots of places people can find you, and each one of them is equally interesting. Like your Pinterest is lovely.
Thank you. And you know what? It's funny because I had a Pinterest account before I had the blog, and I just used to stare and pin. And so now I haven't really sat down and pinned, just looking around on Pinterest. I pin my own things, and I do pin other people's things other people sew as well, you know, on my page. But Twitter is my least favorite social media platform.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to deal with Twitter, but I have it and I don't use it a lot. That one I can actually say, but Pinterest, I do love that, and Instagram, love it because, like I said, I'm a serial picture taker. All over that.
Yeah.
And then
I'm like you, Michelle. I do not like Twitter. And I don't know if I just can't get the concept of it. You just tweet something out and I don't know. It seems pointless to me. I don't use it. I have it, but I don't use it.
Right. And you know, when you give stats for your blog, it's always, well, what's your Twitter following? And I'm like, not much.
That would be me. Now, Instagram, I'm a fan of Instagram. I do that more than probably I do anything. My blog is a little lacking, but between Facebook and Instagram and Periscope, I would have to say Periscope is probably #1 right now, and then Instagram, and then I have to catch up with my blog. So it sounds like I need to do a scheduling.
Oh, sure. Sherry Maple put Snapchat. Now, Snapchat, my daughter keeps putting me on Snapchat, but but I haven't ventured out to that. I don't know. I might get into that.
I'm not into that. I'm scared of Snapchat. I'm Google Hangouts and all that. I'm just now getting comfortable with Periscope, and I got Instagram, so I think I'm good for right now. I'm good. And Blab, not to mention Blab. So I'm good. Yeah. So what's next up for Michelle? And then we'll go into, if Don doesn't have anything else, we'll go into probably answering questions from the guests. So from our viewers. So what's up next for Michelle?
Well, what's up next? What I actually have planned is, like I said, I'm going to get on track and make a planner for the projects that I do have. But I'm going to spend a lot of time, I think, getting involved with Bernina and their products, because I really want to take advantage of this ambassadorship this year and make it worth something in the end. So I think I'm going to really dive headfirst into that and put a lot of energy into that partnership with Bernina.
Okay, sure. Awesome. That sounds pretty cool. We have one of our, I don't know if Andrea is still on here, but Andrea is a brand ambassador. Yeah, so So, and then we talked about another one earlier today, and I'm sure you're familiar with Erica Bonker.
Absolutely.
She became a brand ambassador. Yeah, so that's a wonderful thing. So before we go into asking questions from your perspective, I know we hear Andrea talk about it, but from your perspective, what does being a brand ambassador for Bernina entails for you?
Well, right now, and I'm new, and Andrea, she's old school, so she's been there for a minute. For me, I'm getting acclimated with the machine, and it's funny because I was just in the process of purchasing and upgrading to a nicer machine, and although it wasn't Bernina that I was looking at, when this opportunity came, I said, well, I'll give it a try. So this is my first experience with a brand like this. So I'm still learning that machine. I'm still learning what it can do. And I know I have on the lower end of the spectrum of their machines, but I'm okay with that. So I'm learning what to do with that machine, because honestly, all I did with the machine is sew. I didn't really use any of the bells and whistles of any of my sewing machines, honestly. I do a lot of hand work because I did go to school for tailoring. So I did a lot of hand work, and I do, like that. But I didn't use the bells and whistles. So I plan on diving in that. That is, I think, learning to do that is going to be part of that. And basically making more quality tutorials that I share with the readers. And I want to make something that's more engaging for Bernina, the We All Sew members. I do notice that website is geared more towards clothing. So I want to take it away from that a little bit, and I want to bring it into fashion. So I plan to introduce some interesting things to them this year.
Okay, awesome. Well, so we know we need to follow Michelle. Now, will you be on as Michelle Morris, or we're going to follow you as that black chick?
It is Michelle Morris, I believe. Let me think. Yeah, we all said Michelle Morris, yes, as one of the experts.
Okay, awesome. Well, you got it here. Brand ambassador Michelle Morris. We're going to follow and see what you're going to bring new to the table over there at Bernina. I'm excited. All right, Dawn, you have anything else, or we want to go ahead and let our guests wait?
Yeah, I think it'd be great to see if anyone has any questions from the audience. I know everyone was very excited to have Michelle in tonight.
Yes.
Our first question is, where are you located?
In the PA. No, I'm in Pennsylvania, right outside of Philadelphia.
Oh, so anybody in the Philadelphia area? There you go. Oh,
We got Marianne there.
okay.
For New York.
Is there any other questions, or would anyone like to jump on the seat? I know Andrea can't because she's driving. If she could, she would. She can do anything.
Yeah, Vasila has a question. When did you start your blog, and what's the first garment you posted on your blog when you started?
I started my blog at the end of 2013, and the first garment that I posted was a pair of wide leg owl pants for my daughter. That was interesting. It was some clothing fabric with these big owls all over it, and when I purchased that fabric, they were like, "Oh, what are you going to do with it?" I'm like, "I'm going to make a pair of dress pants," and they were like, "Oh." So, that is the first thing that I made when I posted on my blog.
You know what? That's funny. I think we should. One of our challenges should be called "Oh, you gonna make that?" You know, because I get a lot of that too. You know, I have these bright ideas, but I think as creative people, we should. You know, I encourage people to think outside the box because it's your idea, it's your thought. You know, we shouldn't be limited by, is so and so gonna like this, or is anybody outside of myself gonna like this? You know what I'm saying? I encourage people to be creative, but I get a lot of oh, you're gonna use that to make what? So I think maybe we should have a challenge next year called "Oh, you gonna sew that?" I think that would be pretty interesting. But I'm glad to hear you say that. All right, so who do we have? What's our next question? Somebody did ask, I think you addressed this before because we asked it, but somebody asked that you sew a lot for your daughter, but do you sew for yourself? So you want to address that again?
Yeah, I sew a little bit for myself. And like I said, most of the clothes that I sew is for the blog. So a little bit for myself. Un poquito.
All right, what's next, Dawn?
Does your daughter sew, or is she interested in sewing?
That's funny because no, she does not sew. And she said, I bought her a little sewing kit when she went away to college, and she's like, Mom, she called me one time. She was trying to sew fix a hem, and it was just hilarious over the phone. So I do plan on getting her and my sister into my sewing room and get a sewing project going that I will definitely post.
Wow.
Oh, that'd be cool.
You might have to do a broadcast on that one. Get us all in on that one.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
They also want to know if your daughter gives you suggestions for what to make for her or what to post on the blog.
She does sometimes tell me, she gives me ideas sometimes of things that she wants, that she's seen. So every now and then she does come up with something that I incorporate into the outfits. And those are the ones for sure I know she's going to like.
We have a question about blogging. I finished my site, the tech part, but I'm stuck on how to word my first blog. How did you get started?
Does she mean word a name for her blog or for her post?
Word your first blog. I don't know. Maybe she can clarify. Okay. First post, sorry.
Oh, okay. Wow. You know what? I think my first post was about my name, That Black Chick, because I wanted to explain, and I really honestly, I just wanted people to wonder, like, because I came up with the name That Black Chick. Is she black? Is she? I don't know. That was my first post. What is in a name? That was my first post. So I thought that was a good lead off for me anyway. But I think introducing yourself, maybe make something funny about yourself, introduce to people. I think that would be interesting.
Great.
So speaking of your name, how did you come up with that name? What made you finalize that name as your brand and your blog title?
I knew I wanted black in there. I didn't know what else I wanted, and honestly, I don't know where Chic came from. Well, you know, it's Chic for me, right? I don't know if it came into play. I don't know, but you know what? I did, and then I found the black Chic. That was meant to be.
Right. That was all right there. I like that. And I love that you had that little pic on your blog. Priceless. All right. So
we have another question. How do you like working with independent patterns?
You know what? I don't like all the taping. And I'm not a big fan of that. But I'm finding them to be much more interesting right now. When I came back to sewing, I didn't realize how much patterns cost. That was an eye opener when I went to buy a pattern. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. So I only buy patterns on sale. So that's a big difference from indie patterns, because you know you're not getting $1.99 pattern, right? But I'm finding them more interesting, so I am leaning towards them more this time. Like, I'll buy the patterns when they go on sale for the major companies, but I just did a wardrobe, and that I did a vest from Ralph Pink, and I picked that up, and I procrastinated doing that project, and little did I know I needed the time to be real accurate with the sewing, because it has points and it was real sharp. So I got it done, but I'm going to go back and finish that pattern because I love that pattern, and I'm finding that I'm loving indie patterns more.
Now, what was the indie company? What was the pattern company you referred to? Ralph
Pink.
Ralph Pink. Okay, I haven't heard of that one. I have to look that up.
Yeah, that Melina vest is what that one now. That was pretty interesting. So I was like, if anybody out there wants to test your sewing skills, get that Melina Ralph Pink pattern vest and make that. That's going to test your skills.
Hey, I'm gonna have to look that one up. Okay. All right, that's awesome. So is this the picture of the Melina vest that we're seeing right here?
That is. Yeah, and you can't really get the beauty of it because I did it all the same color pattern. So I think if you work with fabrics, it'll be much more stunning.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad you showed that picture right there, because that's one of my favorite your latest Instagram pictures, because I like the way you style it 3 different ways. You know, I love when you make something, then you show how you can style it, you know, wear it different ways, and it has a totally different look. So that picture right there is one of my favorites. I like that.
Thank you.
All right. So what do we have next?
Lots of comments throughout the blog about your glasses and your amazing blog and your photos on your blog. People seem to love them.
I'm a glasses hound. Like, I have about 16 pair of glasses, and I love glasses. So I'm a freak in that. So thank you.
Wow, that's awesome. So we can expect just listen to what you were saying earlier. You do a new blog post, a fresh blog every Wednesday.
Now I don't have a particular day, so I try to do 2 blogs a week. But like I said, I haven't been blogging a whole lot. I do have one in the works that if you've seen that, on my Instagram, that Bob Marley t-shirt that I made, I have a blog post coming up about that outfit coming up.
Okay. Do you ever get writer's block, so to speak, or a fashion blog, or do you get stuck on something and it just drive you crazy?
Yes. Yes. I open that where it says new post, and I put the pictures in there, and I close it, and then I go back to it.
Yeah, I think that's another sewist and creative mind type deal right there. You know, you get stuck, you know, just like writers do. I got a lot of stuck projects back here. So that's what the paragraphs are going to get into UFOs again next month, where we got stuck on some stuff.
Oh, I got some stuff that I could tell you all about.
Yeah.
Well, hey, come on and join us next month during our July challenge for UFO Revisited. That's what that challenge is going to be.
Okay.
All right.
I definitely have some of the.
We missed a question from earlier. Myra caught it. Thank you, Myra. It was from Vatsla from Fashion Behind the Scenes. She asked what Michelle does with all the clothes she makes.
I have a lot of them on the hanger downstairs. I considered selling some of them, but Maury does have, she does have a lot of them, the one that she likes. So she does have a huge wardrobe, trust me. But I think I'm going to end up donating some of them locally here.
Okay, that's a great idea, because I think Mimi Goodwin does that too. Every year,
Yeah.
do a huge donation to her church. And I see a lot of sewists and a lot of bloggers doing Shop My Closet, which is something that I've considered myself, because I have a lot of stuff that I've sewn, made, and maybe worn once, or maybe never worn. But I see a lot of people either doing that, donating, or doing a Shop My Closet, or doing online sales. So that's a great idea.
Yeah, I've considered that.
Yeah. All right, so Goldie Go, are we on Goldie Go?
Yeah.
Okay. Goldie Go asks, what do you recommend for beginners in terms of machines? And is there a one-stop shop?
Well, what I don't know if I know the brand of machines to recommend, but I tell you what I started on. I have a brother and a singer that I worked on those things. My singer was a workhorse, and I don't know what brand it is, but no particular. I just put a sewing machine. I began. If you're a beginner, I think if you just get a sewing machine, I wouldn't go out and spend like thousands of dollars on a sewing machine if I was just starting out and sewing. But I think $300 price range for a nice machine to start with, and then you may get a machine and 2 weeks later you might this is going and so I would say I'm start with a brother machine. I wouldn't go.
I think we're losing you, Michelle. We're losing your sound again.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah.
So anybody here?
Yeah, you were saying you would recommend spending thousands of dollars on a machine, but I think you said about $300 is about what you may have spent initially, or what you would recommend. Yeah.
Because that's like.
Okay. Your sound is still kind of going in and out, but if you can hear me, can you recommend, as opposed to dollar amount, can you recommend maybe a feature, special features that you would recommend a beginner start out with on the machine?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So, like I said, I honestly don't use the features that all machines have. I just sewed just normal. So I didn't really use any of the features. So if you're looking for one with features and you want to do extra things, unfortunately I can't recommend that. But I would say, like if you're sewing and you're just learning to sew, a basic machine you spend about $100 is good. I think that's a good deal. And it'll be something that if you don't stay with sewing, you didn't lose out so much more.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's been some great advice, and I concur with Michelle. When as a beginner, the features are not as important, as the basics. Like, of course, it's going to have a straight stitch, but then you have your zigzag. I do recommend maybe finding one with a buttonhole. Have a button. Most of them come now with the buttonholes on it. And maybe a few decorative stitches, but outside of that, starting out, you don't need all those features, but you do need your buttonhole, your zipper foot, you know, stuff like that, the basics, as long as they have those.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I forgot about that, Alethea, that butthole thing. Yes.
Right. Definitely the buttonhole. So, but I think, like you said, nowadays most machines come with those buttonholes, the zipper foot, you know, and a little bit of extra stuff that you have to learn what they are. But most of them do. So that's been an awesome interview. We thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much for being a part of our Blab show tonight.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So I wanted to say before we ended the show, I talked a little bit earlier about what was going on with the Paracrafters group. And for those of you that are following along with the Paracrafters, you are Paracrafters. We are doing monthly challenges. And Michelle, FYI, this month we're in the middle of a TNT pattern, tried and true, you know, tried and tested patterns. So we're doing that now for all those that want to be a part. So whatever pattern that makes it work for you, you can just go to it, jump right at it, and sew it up with no problems. You've worked out all the kinks. That's what we're doing this month, TNT. July, get ready for the UFOs Revisited. And remember, I told you that we have a little twist with that. So just like we just finished up with that great fabric swap, with the UFOs, this time you get to swap out a UFO if you want to. So if you got one that you just know you do not want to handle, you're just tired of it, you ready to throw it out the window, don't throw it out the window, mail it off to somebody. Let them fix it, because guess what? Somebody's trash could be your treasure. And I think it'd be interesting to see what somebody else would do with somebody else's potential water, so to speak. So if you didn't know, that's another word, water, WADDER. Yeah, we learned a lot about waters, don't we? So that's just a term for those pieces that didn't work and you just throw them to the side. Instead of putting them in file 13, they don't quite make it there yet. So August, we got the wardrobe builder month. You get to build up your wardrobe. Thank you for deleting that comment, Dawn. September is denim days. We're just gonna sew nothing but denim the whole month of September. October is thrift store challenge, so we get to go and bum rush to thrift stores. And while I'm on there, what is that? Oh, Wendy, you are a mess. All right, so while we are on that, I just shared with the ladies on my last scope that I am I just visited our local thrift store, the Goodwill, and I am on a mission to make a quilt called Fashion in the 50 States. And so for $1.25, I came up with these fabulous shirts. And for those of you that just watched my last scope, you got a chance to see all of that. And somebody didn't think I might be able to come up with Hawaii, but that was one of the first ones that I found, a shirt for Hawaii. So I'm collecting shirts with states on them and any kind of thing fashion related, and I'm making a quilt. So for thrift store, that's what we're doing. You can do anything you want to during October thrift store challenge, but it's to go in to the thrift stores, buy whatever, and refashion it and make it into something fabulous. And then October is going to be holiday fashions month, so you get to prepare yourself for the holidays ahead, all of the entertaining, and get yourself ready. So we'll be doing that during November. And then to wrap everything up for the year, December, we're going to be doing crafty creation. So you get to do those last minute Christmas gifts. And a great gift was one that Shar just posted. She just did a scope on those bowl warmers. I actually did those last year, and they were great. And what was so surprising to me, my nephew, he's 16, 17 years old. He loves it. He likes going and grabbing that bowl warmer. So I was shocked. October is thrift store challenge month. Yeah, you get to go in and buy thrifty stuff and repurpose it. So that's what I've been kind of doing, going and buying patterns. Got a lot of pattern sales out, and so a lot of my ablers out there got me in some trouble with some and going to the thrift stores and buying these fabulous shirts. So that's what Alethea has been up to in the sewing room. All right, that's it.
Okay. Well, Michelle, thank you again so much for coming on and putting up with all the technical issues. It was very, very fabulous. It was great getting to meet you because your blog is amazing and you are in person too. So thank you very, very much for coming on.
Yeah, this was awesome.
Thank you guys. Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me, and thanks everybody for joining in. It was awesome.
Yes, I enjoyed it. It was so good to meet you, to actually talk to you face to face. So I look forward to following you and seeing what you're going to do with the brand, the Bernina brand. So kudos again on that, and much success in all of your endeavors. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, on that note, you all have a great evening. Somebody's probably going to do a scope tonight, so y'all stay tuned. Keep your phones hooked up. And Isabel says she only got on the last few minutes. Oh, but guess what, Isabel? You get to catch this on the replay. So these will always be up, and so you can come back to That's on Blab and catch the whole thing on the replay. All right. All right, love y'all to life. Go be a blessing to somebody, okay? All right.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks again, Michelle.